Hello and welcome to the Pharmacy Informatics Professor 2020 with your host, Dr. Armin Simonian. In my last episode, I talked about loving what you do and being a pharmacy informaticist and how it can be a very rewarding and fulfilling position, but it's also a role that carries a lot of responsibility. It's not a cruise or easy position. It is difficult, and I wanted to get into some of the details of my last position as a pharmacy informaticist before I went into academia and talk about something that I call the grid. I had so many different projects going on at the same time. I had to put it down on paper and list it all out and make sure that I was keeping track of all the different 20 applications that we had implemented at our 6 different hospitals. So these were all under my purview. I had responsibility in all of these. And I just wanted to talk about that a little, just so that you can get an idea of what a pharmacy informaticist might do, especially in a large multi-hospital system. Let's bring up the presentation and get this started. And let's take a look at the grid. So for 6 different hospitals, I had a role and was responsible for implementation, maintenance, upgrades, updates, and retirement when applications came to the end of life, and then implementation of new systems. And at these 6 different hospitals, you can see all the different applications that I had responsibility for. So as we implemented our new EMR and tried to standardize, and again, I have vendor names listed here. I don't usually like to talk about specific vendors, but in this case, I am talking about a specific institution. So I want to list out these actual products so that you got an idea of what was going on at this multi-hospital system. So as we implemented each EMR, I was involved with loading orders, getting the new patient information into the new pharmacy system on the new EMR. And then once it was live, providing user support for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then on an ongoing basis, doing change management, fixes, upgrades, updating the system, backing it up, dealing with downtimes, and just making sure that the pharmacists were getting what they needed from the EMR and the inpatient pharmacy system. We also had outpatient pharmacies within our system, and we standardized on software, and I was involved with the implementation of this software at all of these sites. We wrote our own intranet application to track pharmacy interventions. So as pharmacists intervened on behalf of the patient and did their great work, they documented changes in orders, they documented clinical activities, and this was all done on terminals that had access to our intranet. We also had software that we had implemented hospital-wide that tracked adverse drug events, so it was a reporting system which we could then use for med safety activities and analytics. We also had smart pumps that we implemented, and one of our hospitals was not doing IVs, our psych hospital, and so obviously we didn't implement smart pumps at that institution, but smart pumps were implemented at all the other 5 hospitals. We had our automated dispensing cabinets, and within the automated dispensing cabinets, we had different modules profiling the patient's medications, or modules that were, or machines that were used in the surgery suite, the anesthesia systems, and then our data analytics software that was associated with that vendor's automated dispensing cabinet. We also had software to ensure that we loaded the right drug in the right pocket in those ADCs. With our wholesaler, Cardinal, we had software that talked to the ADCs that helped us with automatic ordering of medications to refill those machines. We had a controlled substances cabinet, automated cabinet that we used for storing controlled substances. And then system-wide, we had our preferred drug information source. So we had licensed with Lexicomp. And then we had pharmacokinetic software that we implemented at all different hospitals. This program is now called Precise PK. In the old days, it was called TDMS, the Therapeutic Drug Monitoring System, but it's a tool to do pharmaceutical calculations on first doses, and then with blood levels, doing least squares or Bayesian other curve fitting to customize our drugs that have a narrow therapeutic range. We had an imaging system, so before we had everything on our electronic medical record or our electronic health records, we still had a lot of paper-based orders. Now that has changed, but it'll never be paperless, as I've discussed before, so we still use order imaging at these hospitals for those pieces of paper that come in that need to be imaged and added to the electronic health record. Tpn Compounder, that's used for compounding TPNs at a central site, and then those are delivered to each hospital. So again, not all the hospitals offered total parenteral nutrition, but for those that did, we implemented the compounder. We also had electronic ordering of controlled substances, and for outdated medications, medications that were spoiled or needed to be returned, we had a vendor that came in and helped us with those returns. And then we did implement barcode medication administration at the bedside, and we used our EMR vendor, their software within the EMR to do that, but that was definitely a separate and major project implementing BCMA. And then our IV workflow system, where we had software under the hood. We had images that were taken as technicians prepared IV medications, making sure that the right drug was going into the right IV. And that was implemented at all of our hospitals where IV therapy was offered. So quite a few different projects going on. And as I said, there's a lot of overlap with some of these. But the fact is that for the pharmacy informaticist, each one of these represents a separate application, a separate project that has to be handled within this multi-hospital system. And so you can see there's a lot going on, there's a lot of responsibility, but when you get everything standardized and in place and the pharmacists have the tools they need to do their job efficiently, then it can be a very rewarding situation in the end when you have things all lined up and in order and are able to keep track of all of your projects, keep all of our systems working well and updated and upgraded and working in a safe and effective manner. I hope this video provided you with some good detail on the responsibilities of a pharmacy informaticist. And if this was helpful for you, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll thank you for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, look after the health of others. I'll work on some more episodes, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.